The relationship between science and religion has been a complex and often contentious one, with many scientists attempting to convince Christians that God is not real. At its core, this endeavor is driven by a desire to promote a more rational and evidence-based understanding of the world, one that is grounded in empirical observation and testable hypotheses. Scientists argue that the concept of God, as typically understood by Christians, is incompatible with the principles of scientific inquiry and the natural laws that govern the universe. One of the primary reasons scientists try to convince Christians that God is not real is that the idea of a supernatural deity seems to undermine the very fabric of scientific inquiry. Science is based on the assumption that the natural world operates according to discoverable laws and principles, and that these laws can be understood and described through observation, experimentation, and evidence-based reasoning. The introduction of a supernatural entity, such as God, complicates this picture by introducing an untestable and unverifiable factor that cannot be accounted for by empirical means. Furthermore, scientists argue that the concept of God is often used to explain natural phenomena that can be perfectly well accounted for by natural laws and processes. For example, the origin of the universe, the diversity of life on Earth, and the workings of the human mind can all be explained by scientific theories and principles, without the need to invoke a supernatural creator or designer. By proposing alternative explanations for these phenomena, scientists aim to demonstrate that the concept of God is unnecessary and even redundant. Another reason scientists try to convince Christians that God is not real is that the idea of a supernatural deity can be seen as a hindrance to scientific progress. Throughout history, religious dogma has often been used to suppress scientific inquiry and stifle dissenting voices. The persecution of Galileo, the opposition to evolutionary theory, and the attempts to ban stem cell research are all examples of how religious ideology can be used to restrict scientific inquiry and hinder the advancement of knowledge. By promoting a more secular and evidence-based worldview, scientists hope to create an environment in which scientific inquiry can flourish, unencumbered by dogmatic or ideological constraints. In addition, scientists often view the concept of God as a form of intellectual laziness, a way of avoiding the hard work of understanding the natural world and the complexities of human existence. By attributing the workings of the universe to a supernatural entity, individuals can sidestep the need to engage with the complexities and uncertainties of science, opting instead for a simplistic and comforting explanation that requires no further investigation or critical thinking. Scientists, on the other hand, are committed to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding, and they see the concept of God as a barrier to this pursuit, a way of shutting off the inquiry and curiosity that drives scientific progress. It is also worth noting that the scientific community is not monolithic, and that many scientists are themselves Christians or adherents of other faiths. However, even among these scientists, there is often a recognition that the concept of God is not a scientific hypothesis and that it cannot be tested or verified through empirical means. Instead, the concept of God is seen as a matter of personal faith, a way of making sense of the world and our place within it that is not necessarily incompatible with scientific inquiry. Ultimately, the attempt by scientists to convince Christians that God is not real is driven by a desire to promote a more rational and evidence-based understanding of the world, one that is grounded in empirical observation and testable hypotheses. While this endeavor may be seen as confrontational or even hostile by some, it is ultimately motivated by a commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding, and a desire to create a world in which scientific inquiry can flourish, unencumbered by dogmatic or ideological constraints. By promoting a more secular and evidence-based worldview, scientists hope to create a more informed and enlightened public, one that is better equipped to navigate the complexities and challenges of the modern world.